So, following the Supreme Court ruling on Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, Democrats have been throwing a temper tantrum, ladies and gentlemen, crying racism and claiming that democracy is being destroyed. We know how it goes. And at the front of this charge has been Hakeem Jeffries, who really put his foot in his mouth this time. He thought it would go unchecked by the president, but it did not. Now, Democrats are losing it over what President Trump posted and said about Hakeem Jeffries. That's blowing up all over the internet. And so we got a lot to break down. Don't forget, if you do enjoy the content, smash that thumbs up button. That's the best way you can let me know. And to stay locked in with future videos, subscribe to the channel. And so let's start with this.
Decision by this illegitimate Supreme Court majority strikes a blow against the Voting Rights Act and is designed to undermine the ability of communities of color all across this country to elect their candidate of choice. But we're not here to step back, we're here to fight back.
Yes.
Now, when this decision came out earlier today, it's an unacceptable decision, but not an unexpected decision. Because this isn't even really the Roberts Court. It's the Trump Court.
Yes.
And what we would expect from the Trump Court is an effort to continue their scheme to suppress the vote and rig the midterm elections and beyond.
So let's stop it right there, because you got Hakeem Jeffries, who is throwing out some very serious accusations. Illegitimate Supreme Court, he says. Trump is trying to suppress votes, he says. Rigging the midterm elections, he says. But wait a minute, hold on. Why was it legit when Democrats in Virginia decided they wanted to redraw maps and then use deceptive language to confuse voters? Let's take a look at this article. Some say the language of Virginia's redistricting amendment is confusing, but is it constitutional? And so in the article it goes to talk about when Virginia goes to vote on the new redistricting process, they'll be asked the question, should the Constitution of Virginia be amended to allow the General Assembly to temporarily adopt new congressional districts to restore fairness in the upcoming elections, while ensuring Virginia's standard redistricting process resumes for all future redistricting after the 2030 census. And so clearly, fairness is a bit of a loaded word, because fairness to me can be something different to you. Fairness to a Democrat can mean something different to a Republican. And that's something they were perfectly aware of when they decided to word it that way. And so now you got Democrats who are running their race hustle. As we can see, you have Hakeem Jeffries with a bunch of black Democrats behind him crying that Trump is rigging the midterms, suppressing the vote, right? But they were fine with the stunt that Virginia tried to pull. Let's continue.
Because these extremists have failed America in every possible way. They failed on the economy, they failed on health care, they're failing as it relates to this reckless and costly war of choice. The extremists have completely and totally failed America.
That's right.
So they've concluded, aided and abetted by the Trump court, that they have to cheat to win.
Yes.
But the reality of our experience, our journey, now more than 400 years, is that we view a setback, and this is one, but we view setbacks as nothing more than a setup for a comeback.
And so after Timu Obama, Hakeem Jeffries said that, Trump posted and called out Jeffries for what he said. And so let's get into the post. And it says right here, Trump posted, Hakeem Jeffries, a low IQ individual, said our Supreme Court is illegitimate. After saying such a thing, isn't he subject to impeachment? I got impeached for a perfect phone call. Where are you Republicans? Why not get started? They'll be doing this to me, President Donald J. Trump. And so Democrats are becoming more unhinged, basically, because they can't get their way. Mind you, it's not like the Supreme Court has just been granting Trump everything he wants, like Hakeem Jeffries wants you to believe. They rejected Trump's effort to deploy the National Guard troops in Illinois, if we remember. They denied Trump's administration request to block nearly $2 billion in foreign aid payments. Oh yeah, and remember how they even ruled how Trump was using tariffs to protect the U.S. against other countries. They ruled against them, forcing tariff refunds. And so Hakeem Jeffries is not living in reality. He's just big mad right now that Republicans are beating Democrats at their own game with redrawing the maps. They thought they finally pulled one over, right? And it flipped too fast. Here's another clip of Hakeem Jeffries following that ruling. Take a listen.
The guy's falling apart. The MAGA majorities in Congress are falling apart. The Supreme Court is a disgrace. And Ben, in the new Congress, we're going to have to do something about this Supreme Court. And let me be very clear. Everything is on the table. Everything to deal with this corrupt MAGA majority that is issuing political opinions that are designed to bolster the prospects of the Republican Party. And we will not allow them to succeed.
Yeah, and so really what we are watching is Democrats scrambling to try and fix something they broke. Really. Because the reality is this. They would have probably won at least the House this midterm just because of the historical nature of how things usually go. The party in office normally loses ground in the midterm. And so Democrats already had an upper hand with they were probably going to win the House. But they couldn't leave well enough alone. After the vote to redistrict California passed, they kept going. And now they really messed around and they found out. Because not only are they potentially going to lose 12 seats with red states redrawing their maps, but then when the census is held and the numbers show the blue state exodus in California, New York, Illinois, the list goes on, it's only going to get worse. But that's not stopping Democrats from doubling down with Hakeem Jeffries. Take a listen.
Congressman, Donald Trump is calling for Hakeem Jeffries to be impeached because Congressman Jeffries said that the Supreme Court is illegitimate. How do you respond to that recent post by Donald Trump that I can read some of it? Hakeem Jeffries, a low IQ individual, said our Supreme Court is illegitimate. After saying such a thing, isn't he subject to impeachment?
He is a president that's drowning in his dismal poll numbers and is hanging on to dear life, trying to finger point and try to discredit a member of Congress who clearly is rising, who clearly has the support of his peers, and who I think called it like it was. And so you'll hear more from him as his polls continue to drop, as they are right now.
Yeah, and so you heard that. MS Now never disappoints when it comes to not living in reality. Yeah, there are polls that show Trump's numbers are down. But if you think for one moment, Hakeem Jeffries is popular within the Democrat Party, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you because it's just not true. He's not radical enough for the far left of his party who wants someone like Imam Donnie. That's why you have him coming out now and trying to threaten Florida like he did.
Our message to Florida Republicans is F around and find out. If they go down the road of a DeSantis dummy mander, the Florida Republicans are going to find themselves in the same situation as Texas Republicans, who are on the run right now. And under no circumstances are Texas Republicans picking up 5 seats. They'll be fortunate if they get 2 or 3. While in California, we are going to get all 5. The Republicans are dummy mandering their way into the minority before a single vote is cast because they started this war and we're going to finish it.
And so you heard that, and you knew following this that the governor was going to have a response to Jeffries' tough talk. And that's exactly what you got from Ron DeSantis and Byron Donalds, who is the Republican candidate to be the next governor of Florida. They both responded to Hakeem Jeffries. Take a listen.
We're going to do maximum warfare against Republicans. Florida Republicans, you F around, you're going to find out all this stuff. And, you know, what I said was, listen, and he's like, oh, if you do the redistricting, we're going to take out all your members. We're going to do all this stuff. And what I said was, go ahead, make my day. You don't think we're gonna... You want to come down here and spend money in Florida? Roll the dice and take your chances, but don't think that you can come down here, issue threats to us, and somehow you're going to make us flinch. That is not happening, and in fact, it did not happen, because as soon as he came out and started doing that last week, Florida legislature turned around and they passed a new map.
So let's be clear, when you go to the polls this November, you make sure the Democrats know loud and clear that you never fought for us. You never stood for us. You never protected this nation. You don't stand for our Constitution, and you do not deserve to have any power in Washington or anywhere else in America. You got Hakeem Jeffries coming down here trying to lecture our governor and our members of the legislature. He's talking about how we're gonna F around and find out. Us in Florida? What a fool. There's a reason why he's the minority leader in Washington, D.C., and after this November, when you go to the polls, he will remain the minority leader in Washington, D.C.
For years, Democrats got comfortable playing this game in blue states where they could draw Republicans out of existence, protect their own safe seats, and then turn around and lecture everybody else about democracy under the veil of black representation. But now the second Republicans start using the same political muscle in red states, suddenly it's racism, suddenly it's voter suppression, suddenly it's democracy is on life support. No. No. We're not going to play that game. We know, listen, this is all about power. Yeah, it's about control. And this is about Democrats being mad because Republicans are finally fighting back on the same battlefield. And Hakeem Jeffries can scream all he wants. The liberal media can cry all they want, but if red states keep redrawing maps, if blue states keep losing population, and if the next census hits California, New York, Illinois, other blue states, the way people expect, Democrats may be looking at a long-term political nightmare that they helped create. But that's my update and the thoughts. Now let me hear from you. Drop your comment down below. Smash that thumbs up if you enjoy the content and subscribe for more. Until next time.